Thank you for joining this fourth module in our Nordic webinars. I'm Dimon Tsotsis. I'm the Market Product Manager for DJO Nordic. And today we're going to be covering the new product launches in our wrist brace portfolio. So just some housekeeping before we start. Everybody should put yourself on mute. Feel free to ask questions throughout the session in the chat, and then I'll cover that at the end in the Q&A session. We're going to be recording this as usual for you to be able to review this later and share it with your colleagues. So the agenda for today, I'll start off with the Exos concept. So for those who haven't really come in contact with the Exos braces, I'm just going to touch on the concept of Exos, and then I'm going to continue with the new product launch, the Exos 4-finger support brace. We're going to be looking at a fitting instruction video for this one, and then we're going to be covering the new DJO Polyform brace and a fitting instruction video for that as well before we go into a Q&A session. So Exos, for those who haven't really come across this concept, is a wrist brace range which is quite unique in terms of the features and advantages that it has. It's a kind of a hybrid brace between a kind of traditional casting brace and a more new orthopedic brace. Features such like that it's formable, reformable, adjustable, that it is waterproof, see-through in X-ray, etc. are key advantages that makes it really unique in the orthopedic space. So just some background on it. It's built up by 3 layers. So the outer layer is a Lycra or loop Velcro. On this one, the new product launch now, the 4-finger support, you're going to see it's the Velcro outer layer. Then we have the high density polymer, which is the core of the product. That's the material that is shapeable. You could compare with the low temperature plastic that occupational therapists are using quite a lot in hand braces. And then we have the closed cell low density foam on the inside, so towards the skin, to get a comfortable and a hygienic layer. So when choosing an Exos brace, we have a specific measuring tape for it, which you can see on the screen, which you then take on, you wrap it around the hand, not including the thumb. If you don't have this specific measuring tape, you can just use an ordinary measuring tape as well, and just follow the table to see which size you need to choose. If you come between sizes, you can look at the forearm as well to help decide. So if it's very large forearm, you just size it up. If it's average or small, then you can size it down. And in general, I would say I'll rather size it down to get a good and snug fit, and reduce the risk of getting these air pockets between the arm and the brace. So to shape it, you need to heat the brace up. And there we have our Exos convection oven, which then goes up to 93 degrees Celsius, which is the appropriate temperature for the brace. You need 5 minutes to get it completely soft and shapeable. So it's an easy, clean, and very fast process. And why should you then choose Exos? I think the Exos, as I mentioned, it's placed kind of in the middle of between different conventions and different products and solutions. So if we would go against the traditional plaster of Paris, then you have a lot of advantages of the Exos, and we know today a lot of the hospitals are using Exos as opposed to traditional plaster because of the easy, fast, and clean application. You don't need any stocking, any padding underneath the Exos brace, so you get a really nice and tight fit and a good control of the hand and arm. So you can conform it to the patient's anatomy because it's shapeable. It's light, so it's lighter than traditional plaster. It's 50% lighter, 25% lighter than glass, fiberglass, and it's very comfortable. And the fast application, in 5 minutes you have it shapeable, and then you have around 3 minutes to shape it to the patient and make it custom. Once it's on, it's easy to adjust, and we're going to be looking at the features there. You have a really nice BOA system, which you can adjust to swelling, etc. But also kind of do local adaptations and local adjustments with the heat gun. So if you have some pressure points or similar. If you're not happy with the fit, with the result, you can just reheat it, and there are no restrictions in how many times you can reheat it and reshape it and reform it if you just want to tweak it. And of course, that is radiolucent, so it's an X-ray see-through brace, so you don't need to remove it if you need to take an X-ray. So I think the advantages towards traditional casting are many, and I also think the kind of easiness for the patient and the aesthetic, kind of that it actually looks really good, is kind of key decision points. If we compare it to the more like prefabricated orthotics, so if you, for example, use it as a step down or a follow-up solution after casting, there are big advantages as well, like the ability to shape it, to make it custom, to mold it and adjust it locally, but also adjust it to swelling, atrophy, etc. So I think all of these factors should be taken into account when using it. But what we heard from the market many times is that it's a nice product to use to kind of follows the patient throughout the entire treatment. So they can actually use it straight away from the acute stage onto the rehab stage as well. And because it's removable, it's also nice to get the patient start to move and do some exercises in an early stage as well for the rehabilitation. So we have a broad range of exos. If you haven't come across it yet, just reach out to your local product specialist. And this brace that we're going to be focusing on today just adds on to this kind of already wide range of products, and just completes it in a very nice way. So looking at this Exos for finger support, we have, of course, I'm going to be pointing out some features again on this one, but again, a quick and easy application, the 5-minute heating, 3-minute shaping. So all in all, you have a customized solution within 10 minutes. Simple to adjust due to the bow closure system. So really nice closure system where you can fine tune and adjust the circumference of the brace, and just make it guarantee a good and tight fit throughout the entire treatment. So waterproof, the patient can keep a good hygiene. They can wash themselves. They can take a bath. They can take a shower with it. So, and of course, wash the brace itself to just keep it clean and get rid of dirt. Antimicrobial. So that's the closed foam, the closed cell foam on the inner layer, which just prevents the bacteria from entering the foam. So again, just keeping the hygiene much better. Radiolucent, as I mentioned, they don't need to remove it for X-rays, and it's available in five different sizes. So from extra small to extra large. You have a right and left specific. So the indications for this brace are primarily for immobilization of the hand and the fingers, and it can be due to various reasons, but mainly fractures. I would say to the second between second and fifth metacarpal and phalanges, dislocations as well. So again, just to immobilize the hand and put it in a comfortable and safe position. There are some accessories as well for it. So if the patient has sensitive skin, or for whatever reason they're reacting onto the material, you can use in wrist undersleeve. The BOA locking ring could be for some patients, or just part of the treatment where the clinician doesn't want the patient to be able to adjust or remove the brace. And then the edge tapes, that also makes it possible to adjust the brace and cut in it and shape it, just again to get it customized for the specific patient. And once that is done, then you can just add the edge tape just to get a nice finish on it. Right, let's see if we can manage the fitting video here.
Measure the circumference of the hand without the thumb using the Exos sizing tape. Lift the BOA knob. Pull the tab. Open and unfold the brace. Heat the brace in the Exos oven for approximately 5 minutes or until the brace is pliable. The brace should not be too hot to handle comfortably. Ensure that the skin is completely dry before application. Fit the brace on the patient. Remove any slack in the lace by tightening the BOA knob. Turn the BOA knob clockwise. Mold the brace into the desired position. The brace should not be worn too tightly. Exos forefinger support will remain pliable for approximately 3 to 4 minutes after removing from the Exos oven. Hook and loop fastener straps should be secured in the desired position. Once the brace has hardened, the BOA knob may be tightened to the desired tension. The Exos forefinger support can be reheated several times. This allows for simple remolding if the original application is not correct or if later adjustments are required. The BOA locking ring is intended to prevent unprescribed loosening of the BOA reel or removal of Exos braces. The Exos forefinger support is now fitted.
All right, so that was the fitting process. I think just a few points to highlight. As you put it in the oven, it's important to unfold the brace to get the heat into the brace, just to heat the entire brace. So when it's when you take it from the package, it's flattened. So it's important just to fold it out before you place it in the oven. Another thing there that was pointed out, but again, I think it's worth highlighting, as it's soft and you're tightening the BOA closure system, don't tighten the laces too hard first. So just tighten them until the brace sits well, but wait with the final tightening until the brace has hardened. Otherwise, you can see on the picture there, you're just going to get unwanted bulges onto the material. And then the final thing, as you tension the brace, you don't want to over tighten it. So you want to make sure you have this wiggle room. So 2 fingers should be able to fit between the arm and the brace. And this is just to make sure air will be able to go through there, and also just to reduce the risk for some tissue damage and friction. So moving on to the DJO Polyform, we have a wide range of DJO wrist braces as well, but we've been lacking this resting brace. So this is a really nice launch and addition to our range. So this is, compared to the Exos, this is an off-the-shelf brace. So we have it in different sizes, but you can't really kind of customize it as the Exos. The indications for it, primarily rheumatoid arthritis, but also any type of indication where you need to have a rest splint or immobilize the hand in a comfortable position. So it could also be spasticity and hand deformities. And here we see that we involve the thumb as well in a good position. So it includes wrist, thumb, and all the fingers. This can be for pain management, pain relief, prevent reduced muscle contractures, and deformities. So right and left universal, which just makes it easy to stock, and then 5 different sizes. And the adjustable part is the volar splint, which is made out of aluminum, so you can shape that in the right positions. And now we're going to be looking at a fitting video for the polyform brace. Let's see if this works.
The DJO Polyform for wrist and hand immobilization. Measure the wrist circumference, the area between the hand and the wrist bone. See the pictogram to place the thumb immobilization piece correctly. The longer part of the piece must cover the thumb. Place the thumb immobilization piece directly on the skin on the gap between the thumb and first finger. Fix the thumb strap using the contact closure tab, then tighten and secure it. Loosen the straps and slip the hand into the brace. Place the thumb in the corresponding opening at the top of the brace. The second opening for thumb placement must remain empty. Fit the thumb immobilization piece to the flange, level with the upper side of the palmar stay. The angle of the flange can be adjusted to ensure the correct positioning of the thumb immobilization piece. To avoid discomfort, it is recommended to adjust the positioning of the opposite flange. Tighten and secure the middle strap using the contact closure tab. The hand and wrist should be gripped between 2 stays, palmar and dorsal. The stays are malleable and can be contoured to fit individual needs. Tighten and secure the 2 additional contact closure straps. Finally, tighten and secure the finger strap. The strap can be removed and adjusted as required. The DJO Polyform is now fitted.
So, right. Just before we go into the Q&A session here, I think just a few things to point out with the brace here. Just make sure to really hook on the thumb piece onto the brace and place it right. And then also nice just to be able to adjust the volar piece, but also you actually have the dorsal a dorsal piece as well, which you could adjust and mold just to improve the fit. Right, let's see if I can unshare now. Okay, yeah. So let's see if we have any questions. Yeah, good question. So can I use any kind of oven to heat the exos? So that's a quite common question that we get in the market. We do have our specific exos convection oven. So convection oven is the kind of air heated oven. So it's important that it has this function. We do recommend to use our oven, and DJO can provide this oven for you, and it's easy because it's also kind of mobile, so you can just use it in whatever kind of room or place in your clinic as you wish. But the important part is to get a convection oven, so you get that air circulating, but also make sure the temperature is right. So it's 93 degrees of Celsius. And the issue, if you put it in a kind of ordinary oven and you have it too high of a temperature, you will damage the outer layer, the lycra, and you're just going to get a poor result of the brace aesthetically. Let's see. Right, yeah. So follow-up question: if I accidentally forget the exos in the oven for a longer period of time, what will happen? So to keep it too long won't be, it won't be too problematic. The temperature is more critical to get that right. So it requires 5 minutes for this brace here. If you leave it for 10 minutes, it won't make a difference. It will still be fully malleable and formable. If you would forget it for hours, well, most likely the lycra, again, the outer layer, will get damaged. But again, more critical to set the temperature right. If you use our oven here, you have this timer on it, so you don't forget it for hours. Okay, let's see. Yeah, what will happen if my oven is too warm? Yeah, so definitely that I would say that's worse. If you put if you have it too hot. Again, using the exo, it can't go above 93 degrees of Celsius. So I recommend you to reach out to your DJO product specialist and make sure they'll provide you with an oven. So how often do you recommend to clean my exos, and how long do I have to wait for it to dry? Yeah, so I would definitely recommend to clean it as often as possible, so daily, just to reduce the odor and just to keep it clean and comfortable. Important is when you're washing it, you need to be able to lose it. So for the cases where the doctor or clinician has decided to put a locking ring on it, they shouldn't be washing it, and they shouldn't be getting it wet, because if they can't loosen it, they can't really get the air properly between the brace and the arm to dry it completely, and that can result in skin breakdown and kind of irritation. So important there. When you've washed it or taken a shower with it, make sure to loosen it. And if you just air dry it, it will probably take about 20 minutes. But if you use a hair dryer, then it's dry within maybe 1 to 2 minutes. So that's a really quick solution. Yeah, so how many times is possible to reheat? You can reheat it and remold it, as many times as you like. We've had these samples and demo braces which we've had in congresses and meetings, and I think we've had them for more than 10 different meetings, and in each meeting we'll probably mold it 20 times. So I don't think there is kind of there is no concern in how many times. Just you're able to reheat it, remold it, but what we do recommend is to use it on single patient use. So because it does get worn out. It does, even if you really wash it often and well, you still get some bacteria left there. So don't reuse it on multiple patients. Keep it to single patient use. So a question regarding the polyform. Yeah, so would you recommend using polyform brace on a patient with stroke? If so, why this model in favor of others? I would definitely recommend the polyform for a stroke patient. It's an appropriate and excellent resting brace, but also kind of to reduce the risk for muscle contractions and deformities. So a really comfortable and good resting brace. And I think, as opposed to the Exos brace where you don't have the thumb piece included, I would go for the polyform, because otherwise the thumb could end up being stiffened or get a contracture. And I think to follow up on that, we received a question on why the Exos 4-finger support doesn't have a thumb piece on it. And again, just going back to the primary indication for the Exos 4-finger support, it's more for the fractures, the metacarpal fractures. And looking at the statistics, 88% of the metacarpal fractures does not involve the thumb. So based on the stats, they've decided to exclude the thumb piece, make it easier, lighter, and of course cheaper for the almost 90% of the cases. All right. So, any other questions? Great. So I would like to thank you for today for this session. It's being recorded, so we'll be sending out a link with the video for you to review later or share with your colleagues. And I think we're finished here. So thanks again. I hope to see you again in 2 weeks when we're having our 5th module on the Dr. Comfort shoe range. So thank you and goodbye.